The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There was a Rabbi that was driving on a snowy highway, and the snow was building and building and building, and he had to pull over because his car was there was so much snow that his car stopped being able to drive. It was like building so fast. So he pulled over to the side of the road, and he started getting out of his car and taking a shovel from the back seat, and he was shoveling. All of a sudden he hears on the side of the road, there's a person like screaming for help, crying for help. He looks around, he doesn't see anybody. But he sees there's like a big bank of snow, a big embankment of snow, and he hears the cries coming from there, so he quickly takes his shovel, and and there's a human being that was like under a huge mountain of snow. And he, gets him out after a while, and he puts him in his warm car, and they start schmoozing. And he says, what happened? He says, well, I was, my car had to pull over, just like yours. He says, and I was trying to get the snow off of some of the tires, and all of a sudden a huge, the snow plows, they came, and they didn't see me, I guess, or whatever, and they threw like a ton of snow on top of me on the side of the road. And so I thought I was going to die. There's no shiloh, I was going to die. I'm buried in a mountain of snow, could barely breathe, just screaming my last breaths. Maybe somebody would hear me. And here you were, you saved my life. Anyway, so they started talking, and he said that it turns out that he was Jewish. He grew up not knowing that he was Jewish, and his father, they were children of Holocaust survivors, and parents didn't want them to know that they were Jewish, so basically raised them as non-Jewish. And then his father died. Then his mother was getting sick, and she called him over to her bedside, and she said, I want to tell you something. You're really Jewish. We didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to have all of the restrictions that Jews have, but you're Jewish. You should know your grandparents were Holocaust survivors. And that was it, and then she died. And he didn't really do anything about it. He just went on with his life, but he knew that he was Jewish, and now, he sees this Rabbi in the car sitting next to him. He told him he's Jewish, and he said, all right, let's keep in touch with each other. They exchanged phone numbers, they got each other out of the snow, they went back to their old lives, and then one day, a couple of weeks later, this Rabbi gets a door, somebody rings his doorbell, and it's this guy that he saved his life. And they hugged each other, how are you? And basically he brought him like a top-of-the-line snowplow as a present, like a beautiful brand new electric snowblower. Anyway, they thanked each other, thank you, unnecessary. All of a sudden, the Rebbe's mother-in-law, who was at the house, was having a massive heart attack while this whole thing was taking place. And Hatzalah came right away and, did some CPR in her. And then, but there was snow that was falling, and they had to get out of the driveway onto the street, and they couldn't because there was too much snow. But they had the snowblower, the snowplow, they plugged it in, and right away, boom, 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 in 3 minutes they were able to get the whole snow out. And the Rebbe and this guy, were looking at this as it was unfolding, or they were part of it, and they say, there's clearly a God in the world. I mean, look at the chain of events that you happen to be pulled over, and I found you, I saved your life, you saved now my mother-in-law's life, and now this guy's becoming frum, because now he sees the Yad Hashem so clearly. That's the way, that from the great Nisim, you're able to get the hidden Nisim. Everything is a Nes.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org